Welcome back to Succession War Explained, where love will always prevail. This time we're talking about 6th Prince Tyson and 13th Prince Marayam, neither of whom has taken a whole lot of action up to this point in the Succession War. But Unyor tells us good things come to those who wait, and that Nasubi won his war the same way, slow and steady. So maybe these passive princes have the right idea. Benjamin could learn something from them about patience, certainly, and about the power of love. On the subject of patience, I'll say up front, the next video in this series will cover Zhang Lei, Lazarus, and the entire Mafia storyline, including Hisoka and the Phantom Troop. So that's going to be a long one. It might take a while before it's ready, but if you're subscribed to the channel, you should hopefully see it pop up whenever it's out. Those of you who've already subscribed will notice that one of my eyewogs has perched itself harmlessly on your shoulder, and that little guy is basically making it so that the more of my videos you watch, the happier you become. And in exchange for granting happiness, he's collecting some of your aura so I can charge my big laser. So that's a pretty sweet deal, I think. Obviously, I'm excited about the laser thing. It's just win-win. But enough about me. Let's get into it and talk about Prince Tyson. Who wrote the Book of Love? Tyson did, although wrote might not be the right word. It seems like she's lifted most of the lines in it from pop songs and the like. That's just lazy if you ask me. When I'm writing, I only express my own original thoughts. But you know, it's a book about love, and music is the food of love, like I've always said. Tyson claims that there will be world peace when everyone reads her book, so we can infer it's got a pretty basic message. Love, peace, positive thinking, that sort of thing. But as Giuliano tells us, even a vapid pop song can stick in your head, and its message will linger there for a long time, along with the melody. There's power in that even before we start talking about Nen. So there's more to this book than meets the eye. And Nen does get involved once Tyson's pressed you to the pages of her heart thanks to the ability of her cycloptic guardian beast. So the guardian beast. It's actually sort of the first one we saw in the story. When Kurapika was interrogating these Queen's Guards on day 1, these little one-eyed polywogs, or eyewogs, showed up and landed on them. These eyewogs will clamber around on anyone, but they only stick to those who've received a copy of the Book of Tyson. And they act sort of like Hulkenberg's Mark of Resolve. They turn her loyal followers into a distributed source of aura for her main guardian beast, the one that's hatching all these eyewogs. The followers get the emotional reward of happiness in exchange for this aura tax, and they get happier the more they've read the book. This isn't specified, but I imagine reading the book more thoroughly and getting more happiness also means you're contributing a greater amount of your aura. So the more committed everyone is to Tyson, the stronger the eyeball's attack can get. And it does have an attack besides this sort of coercive emotional manipulation. Tyson thinks of her beast as an angel of love, like it's sent from a bah-huh-huv, but it's not that innocent. It'll dish out severe punishment on anyone who breaks the Book of Tyson's only taboo. Giuliano thinks it's gathering energy for something like a spirit bomb from Dragon Ball, and the beast is an emitter, so we should expect severe punishment to take the form of some kind of energy attack or laser beam from the big eye. Again, dealing more damage as Tyson's influence increases and the eyewogs suck up more juice from her devotees. What's a little more difficult to guess is the nature of the taboo. Given the book's message, you might expect it to forbid saying something like, love can't conquer all, or violence is necessary, or Prince Tyson isn't cute. And Tyson certainly doesn't want to hear any of those things, but what a girl wants and what a girl needs are two different things. If this guardian beast is going to be much help in the war, it can't just be an attitude enforcer among her followers. She needs it to work against, like, an assassin who attacks without saying anything, either for or against her lovey-dovey philosophy. That makes me wonder if the taboo might be against acts of aggression just in general, which would make her punishment effective against a silent assassin, but would have the drawback of making it so her own guards can't attack an enemy without paying the price. If that's the case, all they're really good for is charging up the spirit bomb, which I think makes for an interesting drawback. Again though, that's just speculation. The taboo has yet to be revealed. So that's what we know and what we don't know about the guardian beast. And there's not too much else to the Tyson storyline yet. Kurapika's teacher Izanavi is our spy in the room. He pals around with the hunter Giuliano. They both get a copy of the book, and gradually Giuliano is more and more taken with it, becoming a loyal follower of Tyson, while the stick in the mud over here leaves the book alone. It's not until chapter 400 that Izanavi makes a realization. A book with the power to spread love and peace could be an antidote to the Succession War itself. Sure, Melody can stop the war for 3 minutes at a time, but pipe Tyson's Bible in audiobook format throughout Tier 1 and you could stop it for good. Who doesn't like being happy? So he gets the details from Tyson about her efforts to spread the good word. It seems like she's already given a copy of the book to all the younger princes, so that's 7 through 14, as well as their mothers, so that's all the queens except Unma and Tong Zhao Li. They probably haven't been in the mood for love lately, what with the war and all, but Izanabi tells her to talk to her mother again. Tell her to give the book to King Nasubi and get him to read it. This probably isn't going to work, but it's worth a shot, right? This conversation also tells us more about Tyson's attitude towards the war and her relationship with her mother Katrono. Despite thinking it's gonna be me back when she first boarded the Black Whale, Tyson doesn't seem that optimistic about her chances. As a peacenik, she had no desire to fight in this war, but her mother would have been too ashamed as a queen if her child hadn't entered. And Katrono really wants to win the war, so there's another queen who's probably plotting something with her queen's guards. Like Sale Sale's mother, Queen Swinko Swinko, Katrono has every reason to believe that she'll have to do the work if she wants her kid to win, so it'll be interesting to see what she's come up with. And that's where we're at with Tyson, although I haven't really done justice to how funny these interludes with her have been. Did I mention she only hires pretty boys for her personal guard? Or that she makes them roleplay as stock romance characters with her? Or that she got Izunavi into this outfit for the show she put on at the banquet? Tyson's great. And you know, Biscuit also loves pretty boys, so they might just get along. Although Biscuit definitely has a dirtier mind. Anyway, maybe they'll meet someday if Tyson and Marayam both join Kurapika's Coalition of Mercy. And in the meantime, let's join Bisky in Marayam's room, which is no longer room 1013. Once again, our main job will be to talk about the prince's guardian beast, so let's get right into it. Marayam's beast is the only one in our story so far to change its form in response to its prince's emotional state. When the beasts are first introduced, here it is, a sort of Chinese dragon with rather skinny forearms. But Marayam knows something bad is happening around him, even if he's a toddler with no concept of the succession war and hardly any concept of death. He's probably picking up on the anxiety of his mother Savanti. Her sudden excess of concern for his safety is letting him know that he's in danger, and his beast responds by becoming more of a protector. Here it is just a little later on day 1, looking bulked up with massive forearms. Then, as I discussed at length in my Mimosa video, Marayam's big sister dies, in large part because Savanti took all the loyal personal guards out of her room and left her at the mercy of enemy queen's guards. It's ironic that Mimosa felt no anxiety when her mother sentenced her to die, while Marayam, who's receiving his mother's full support, feels absolutely terrified. Anyway, this prompts another change to the beast. It gets smaller, but meaner and more aggressive, threatening Hanzo with these bristling vines, even though Hanzo is protecting Marayam at this point. And the beast has also activated an ability related to Marayam's increasing fear. It stashed him away in a pocket dimension where the bad guys can't get him. This ability might be born from the same instinct that makes you hide under a blanket to stay safe from monsters in the dark, but we have to give props to the toddler prince. He is much safer in here. Being afraid is a good policy in this case, and it's produced a good power. Mechanically, it seems like anyone can leave, but no one can enter the Pocket 1013, and they can see out of it, but no one can see back in. Anyone outside just sees the now empty normal 1013, which Biscuit and Vergay understand is suspicious and could give away what's happened, so they end up moving some of his guards out into the normal 1013 to keep it looking occupied. Now, you might be thinking, Marayam has the best power in the war, he's untouchable now. Well, maybe. If the succession war went on without him and one winner emerged and was just waiting around on the Black Whale, I mean, Marayam wouldn't stay safe forever, cause he'd have to leave the room at some point. He'd run out of food. And the more immediate danger is that his guardian beast seems to be occupying the normal 1013, where Hanzo encountered it before he knew what was up with the pocket dimension. That means someone like Rihan could take out the beast and deactivate the ability that way without ever stepping foot in the hidden 1013. So no, Marayam's not untouchable, but he's inconvenient to get at, which is already pretty good. Wait long enough, maybe someone puts a stop to the war, you never know. Or, failing that, wait long enough and Bisky will teach Nen to this extra large retinue of personal guards. Bisky, by herself, is one of the strongest characters in our story. Lest we forget, she was still Gon and Killua's teacher right through the Chimera Ant arc, and her ability is perfectly suited to letting her students train hard and then wake up feeling refreshed. This massage gives you a full night's rest in just 30 minutes, which could be a huge advantage as the days and weeks wear on. Remember, there's no timeouts in the Succession War. All these guards are sleeping in shifts. If your best guard is, say, Kurapika, there's about a third of the day when he can't help and you're in way more danger. Now, we don't know how often Bisky can use this ability, but it has the potential to shrink that danger window down to half an hour instead. That could be vitally important, especially as the pace of the war speeds up and there's less chance for anyone to get a decent night's sleep. Like I was saying, Biscuit has taken it upon herself to train the guards in Nen. Savanti's guard captain Verge was a bit of a Nen skeptic and gave Kurapika a hard time about it over the phone, but seeing is believing and Bisky's made him a believer. Now that he doesn't think Kurapika was lying anymore, Verge should be much more open to cooperating with Room 1014 in the future. And since Verge's been authorized by Savanti to call the shots, this makes Marayam a good candidate to join the coalition. The only trouble is that Biscuit and Hanzo can't actually come out and help with anything since they wouldn't be able to get back into the pocket room. But we know Hanzo can leave the room with his doppelganger, and Bellerante is already outside, so he can help out too. Oh yeah, Bellerante. So the guards Savanti sent to the Nen class were Bellerante and Berrigan. Berrigan died immediately, and Bellerante is one of the top suspects for who killed him. So an alliance with Marayam where the main benefit is having Bellerante around more could be a double-edged sword for Kurapika. But as of chapter 400, which is as far as this recap series is intended to recap, so thank you YouTube commenters for understanding that as always. As of chapter 400, we just can't be sure what this guy's deal is. He might be the killer and hostile to Kurapika, he might be the killer and trying to help Kurapika in some weird way, or he might not be the killer at all. And that's pretty much it for Marayam. As a toddler, there's not much to say about his personality other than how afraid he is, and understandably so. He likes his pet hamster. He likes Bisky, but everyone likes Bisky. As far as we can tell, he's a perfectly normal little kid who can hopefully hide out from the war in peace. And we haven't seen him since he skipped the banquet, so for the time being, waiting it out is working just fine. What we have seen since the banquet is the spiders getting entangled in a three-way mafia war during their hunt for Hisoka. I knew I'd have to cover all the action on the lower decks eventually, and as I said in the intro, the plan is to knock it all out at once. So I hope you enjoyed the more relaxing recap this time, because from here on out it's full steam ahead. Even after the Mafia War video, we're not getting another chill one like this, cause look at the princes we've got left. We're definitely in the big leagues here. None of these princes are as nice as Tyson or Marayam, but there is a lot more to say about them, so that'll keep me busy in the weeks ahead. As always, I hope you look forward to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.